Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. Oh man, this has been a hard week for all of us. First we lost Ozzy and then Hogan, and before that, they say it happens in threes. We lost a guy from the Bill Cosby show. I wasn't too familiar with that show as much as everyone was with Ozzy and Hogan, but with Hulk Hogan, man, I'm 50 years old, so my first um, experience with wrestling in general was WrestleMania 2. He was facing Bundy, and I like King Kong Bundy, and I was rooting for Bundy to win. And my stepfather was like, "No, Hogan's gonna win." And I saw Hogan get hurt on Saturday night's main event, and I was only a kid. I didn't realize how fake it was, and I was like, "Oh my God, Bundy really hurt him. Bundy's gonna win." And then sure enough, like the next day, my stepfather showed me the WrestleMania 2 results in the paper. Hogan won against Bundy, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, no way! How did he win? Like I couldn't believe it. And of course, at the time, I didn't realize that it was staged, it was fake, it was pre-planned. People still get hurt, but it was pre-planned. And then WrestleMania 3, my father bought me, him, and my cousin Brucey tickets, and we all went to the Worcester Centrum to see it live on the big screen there, Titantron, whatever you want to call it. And everybody's like, stomping their feet it's about to happen with the Hogan and the Giant. And it was as real as real can get, for a kid. I think I was 12 years old. It was 1986 or so. I was born in 75. And well, no, I'll never forget that moment where he just slammed the Giant and everybody in the stadium was like, whoa. And yeah, it was pre-planned, but I think in the real world, Andre could have told him that he couldn't have won the match. Like it was Andre's decision for him to beat him, and I think he got the first attempt to slam him. He didn't get it, and then he got the second attempt or something like that. I read in his autobiography, and later on through the years, I collected VHS tapes. Um, WrestleMania and him and the Macho Man, and it was he brought a thing to wrestling where people would hurt him, and you really think, oh my God, that guy really hurt him. King Kong Bundy, and who knows who else. Somebody gang up on him, hurt him, and then all of a sudden he just like hulk up and go you, and the crowd would pop, and it would just a presence about him that will never be matched. And every wrestler like alive today has been influenced by him in some way. Um, and then later on in life, yeah, he made mistakes, but who hasn't? You know what I mean? My take on it is that he was surrounded by people that said the N word, so it caught on. If you have friends that are saying it and doing it in a way that isn't with the R, you know what I mean? With the A instead of the R, and you're around them 24/7, and then you start saying it, thinking that, okay, everybody says it, whatever, I'm going to say it. That's different than totally being this racist that absolutely hates black people and doesn't want to associate with black people. I mean, him and Mr. T, there's pictures of him and Mr. T at WrestleMania, what was it, one or two? I don't think Hogan was racist. I think that when he said that, it was meant to be like a private thing, and it got out, and that's why he sued whoever exposed that. But I think there's people that took that and ran with it. Like they ran with it. Like I think they're extreme leftists that like just wouldn't stop with it. Oh, Hogan's racist. Hogan's this, Hogan's that. Instead of like taking the time to see the whole picture. That's just my take on it. And then he got baptized publicly, and I think a lot of the reasons why he got booed on Netflix is because before that he took a stand for Trump, and Trump won. So Trump won because like Joe Rogan took a stand for him on YouTube, And now, Hogan took a stand for him. So these are big celebrities that are like, powerful enough to change the mind of people, enough to change politics. So, you figure you get a guy that took a stand for Trump. Now Trump's in the office. Okay. So he comes out, in a crowd that probably doesn't like Trump as it is. And there's like this, booing and stuff. But me at home, I was cheering for him. You know what I mean? That's just me. I'm not, saying this to like cause this huge uproar or whatever, or being extremist. I just say, from my point of view, it's almost biblical that the world is supposed to hate you if you're a Christian, anyways. And then he took a stand for the guy that a lot of people hate, anyways. So it makes sense for me that he got booed, but it's kind of sad at the same time because he's the guy that you remember, growing up as a kid and seeing him body slam the giant, and you'll never forget that feeling and the feeling that he gave you when he came out in the 80s. He brought like a conservative thing to the table without and still be entertaining, enough for the fans. And then later on, the NWO, he became a bad guy. You're like, wow, who would have thought that? And I enjoyed him as a bad guy sometimes more than he was the good guy. But like to see him both, to see him run both times in the NWO and as Hulk Hogan is just amazing. He's had an amazing career and had some timeless matches that will always be watched, over and over again. And he left behind a legacy, at least for me. I know a lot of people hate him nowadays because of his past, something he's done. But like for me, I'll always be a Hulkamaniac, and that's just the way I feel, brother.